Hello, my name is Sarah and you're watching the It's a Sarah podcast. Today is Monday, June 20th. Here we go again. I can get it. I'm sorry. June 20th. it's weird. 2022, and this is episode 31. I'm coming to you from the Netherlands, so excuse my Dutch English. I love to knit, I love to crochet, and I love to talk, and that's the perfect combination for a podcast on YouTube. I make a knitting podcast, crochet podcast for quite a while in Dutch, and since a few episodes, since a few weeks, I make also an English one every week. So I guess I started at episode 20 in English, and I make one in Dutch and one in English every week. And I love it. I love it. I love all the people in the comments, and I love all the talking. Now I can talk twice. And when I started podcasting in English, I was very uncomfortable with my English and my perfectionism. Is that an English word? I was struggling with it. I keep telling myself, oh, it's so bad, Sarah, it's so bad, quit with it, just talk in Dutch, that's okay, but don't go English, that's not, you can do that. And I was feeling quite bad about it, but I wanted it, and I switched, did a mind switch, and I promised myself not to be so hard on myself, and it's absolutely okay when I'm struggling, because I'm not a native English speaker, and I just want to have fun and talk about my knitting and crafting, that was the word, crafting adventures, my handwerkperikelen. So I will tell you all about my knitting and crochet. No, it's mainly knitting today. But I do have a wonderful idea also for crochet. Just a few minutes before podcasting, before filming, I got the perfect idea for a make-along. And I want to share it with you. I will do it at the end of the podcast, but it's I love it already. And I wasn't planning a make-along, but it just popped into my head, and mainly when ideas are popping in my head, they are good ideas. When I'm overthinking stuff and then get an idea, it's not from my heart, but from my head. But this one's from my heart, so you must take a look if you are curious now. Okay, I have one finished object, I have one almost finished object, and I have my make-along idea, and I have some podcast recommendations. This time I prepared them, so that's better. Yes, I do have a lot of other whips, works in progress, but they are in my baskets all, but I will not show them all because I didn't touch them since last week. So, okay, let's start. What I'm wearing is nothing handmade. It's not by me. The dress is handmade, but not by me. So no knitwear, no crochet wear, so we can go through that very fast. And I want to, I have a finished object, and they are finished for quite a while, but I waited. It is a test knit, and I waited to share it with you until the pattern was released. I'm sorry, don't do that. It's not a nice look. Okay. I did my first test knit ever. I never test knitted a pattern. I don't know why. It didn't had my interest. But when Lerka from Fibertales did a call on our Instagram, I think in her stories, she asked for test knitters for a sock pattern, and I was in. I jumped on, and she could use me. So I test knitted her newest sock pattern, the Humlebi socks. I wanted to say Humblebee all the time, but when I looked up for it, it isn't Humblebee, it is Humlebi. And now I want to check it because I'm not sure when I say it out. Humlebi. Oh, let's see. Where are you? I'm checking on Ravelry. Humlebi. Yeah, yes, it is Humlebi, not Humblebee. Okay, so they are finished quite a while, but I'm glad I can show them already. And it's also nice to show them on the podcast, because when I took pictures, I knitted them with quite dark yarn and you can't see the pattern at all. And so I made on Instagram my first reel, because that's also a bit of filming, so you can see the lovely pattern, but I hope you can see it here. My phone is getting old, so I normally don't look my videos when they are on YouTube, but last time I did a few minutes, and I saw the quality of the images, the filming wasn't quite good. It seems like my phone is getting old. It gets slechter. Not better, but the opposite. It's getting worse, yeah. So it's not staying the same, but it's getting worse. So maybe I must think about a new phone in the future. I don't want a new phone, but I do so much with my phone, filming and all that stuff. I don't have a special camera for this. I don't want it. It's about the talking and not about the quality, but I do like when it's good on a screen. Sometimes I see people watch my podcast on a TV screen, and that's very, very big, very much of Sarah in your living room, and then I like it to be good quality. Okay, I have my notebook, my knitting book. I keep notebooks all the time. I call them my handwerkboek. That's Dutch for craft book. And I have a project page for every work I make. And this is my book number 3. And I love to look through them. And they are quite a mess, but I make notes, and I how do you say it? I put pictures in it, and when I get a lovely postcard from somebody, I put it in, and normally I also print my pictures, which I made for Instagram, and I add them. Didn't do that for a while, but it's a lovely knitting and crochet diary. I love it. So let's take a look. If I hope I made a page for the Humlebi socks. Yes, of course I did. Okay, I knitted them. I started on May 6th and finished them on May 17th. So they are finished for a month already. Let me show them first. So you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, and you can see I knitted them in quite dark brown yarn, and that's it makes it a bit hard to see the lovely pattern, but I will tell you all about it in a minute, because they are so cute. Can you see? Cuties on my leg. I love them. So first of all, the yarn. Let's start there. When I applied for the test knit, I looked through my sock yarn stash, and I have a big sock yarn stash, but not very much solid colors for one pair of socks. A lot of scraps, but not, and a lot of yarn balls, colored stripy or whatever kind of sock yarn with multiplied colors, but not solid colors. This was the only one, and this is a very nice sock yarn. It is a skein I bought a few years ago at a knitting fair in the Netherlands at the Handwerkbeurs at a lovely stand from Atelier Lindelicht, and it was originally a kind of green, very light green blue, and I knitted 2 skeins or 3, I don't remember exactly, and I knitted a flex sweater light for my youngest girl. But she wore it a couple of months and then she grew out. I like fitted sweaters on my children when they were little. They are now quite big. But they are growing quite fast. So when she didn't wear the sweater anymore, I ripped out because I love the yarn, but I didn't love the color of it was a beautiful color, but I'm not a blue person, absolutely not, and my daughter was, so I bought the color especially for her, special for her, and I want to use the yarn again, so I dyed it in a beautiful dark brown, and I love it. I use it quite a lot in my socks and as a border from a Spencer, and I just love it. I love it. But it is a mix. I bought a few skeins at the knitting fair last month, also at Atelier Lindelicht, and I guess it's the same. Samenstelling? How do you say? Let's Google. I'm learning so much. Composition, the same composition. It's a bit of a lot of wool, a bit of rami. These are nettles and a bit of silk. So it's a wonderful blend of these 3 fibers, and they made quite a strong natural sock yarn. So I love it. There's no nylon in it. I'm not against nylon. It's how do you call it? Polyamide in English. It's okay. It's very good when you are looking for yarns without, but it's also very nice when your socks last a bit. And this one with rami and silk is quite strong. So I love it. I knitted socks in a thicker thread, in a thicker yarn, DK weight, with also the same composition. And they stand they last very well. So this about the yarn. I knitted them on 2.25. I always knit my socks on that, and I am changing my knitting style, so I was changing from continental to English style, and I knit quite tighter English style, and that's okay for socks. My size is 38. I didn't, and let me think, what does the pattern say? It's coming in a few, small, medium and large. I knitted the small size. And I guess it was 60 stitches. Yes, I can see it in my notes. Lerke is a gusset and heel flap girl. Can you say that? Woman? A gusset and heel flap woman, because of the fit of the socks on her feet. But this pattern must be knit toe up because of the Humlebi's, the little bees on the leg. She designed also the Humlebi shawl. I didn't knit that, but there were the little Humlebi's also. But to get them with their heads up, you have to knit toe up, and usually she knits cuff down. So she figured out a new heel. She didn't figure out. It was an heel, an already existing heel. I hope I say it all right. But it was a new heel to her, and it was also a new heel to me. I knew it exists, but I never knitted it. So it's the Fleagle heel. You cast on with the toes, and the pattern says Judy's Magic Cast On. So I tried unsuccessfully. I find that quite a hard way. I'm a toe-up sock knot knitter. When I started knitting socks, I was absolutely a cuff down. But when I discovered toe-up, it was my favorite because of the casting on. And I always use the Turkish cast on, and it feels much more easier and natural for me. But it's also nice to learn other ways. So I tried Judy's Magic Cast On, but it didn't feel okay, and maybe I gave up too fast. But the Turkish cast on works so pretty, so good for me. So I don't need another cast on. I don't need to try another few times. I felt that very clear. So I cast it on with the Turkish cast on and followed the pattern. And there was another when you increase the stitches for the toe, I always increased in the last stitch and the first stitch, and this pattern said to hold a stitch between, and it gives a nice detail. But you have to pay more attention while knitting. I had. Oh, the grammar. Okay. The foot is very okay, and there was at a point, and the pattern says when you start the Fleagle heel, and the Fleagle heel is kind of a heel flap and gusset, but then toe up. I don't know if I say it correctly, and I don't know. Oh, it's a long time ago. You increase stitches quite a while on the back of your sock. On the heel, I knit magic loop socks. On the back you increase quite a lot stitches, and then you decrease them. I hope I say it okay. I don't remember anymore. Whatever. There are so many tutorials for the Fleagle heel construction, and it was. I'm not a quick learner, a fast learner. I have to do new things several times to really do it the good way, and to really feel the ease and flow of a good way. So it was quite paying attention and making mistakes for me, but that's how I work always, so that was okay. But it was quite a nice heel, but I must say I'm a shadow wrap short row girl. No, you're not a girl. Woman. And I love that heel. I started with heel flap and gusset when I learned knitting socks. Then I discovered the fish lips kiss heel, and I loved that. And then I discovered the shadow wrap short row heel, and I loved that even more. I didn't know that was possible, but it was. And that's the perfect fit for my feet. So this is quite a bit space for me. It was nice to knit the Fleagle heel one time, but it was one time and never again for me, because they are a bit too large on the heel, and that's just my foot, the form of my foot. And but the pattern, I guess when you are a heel flap and gusset person, and that's your go-to, then it's a perfect alternative for knitting up socks toe up, I guess. So that, and then the fun part was at the cuff. First of all, you need a row of little flowers with a little lace detail. Maybe you can see it when I hold it on my sock blocker. Oh, they're tiny, tiny little flowers. And then there are the Humlebees, and they were quite fun to make. And Lerka has a video tutorial linked in the pattern how you can make them, and it's also quite a clear description. So I love to make them, and I love the little detail of the tiny bees. And then there was another row of flowers, little lace, and then there you ended with a two cuff. And I guess that was that. I bound off with oh yeah, that was interesting. I didn't write that down. I always use the extra stretchy bind off, but I discovered you have Judy's Magic Cast On and Jenny's Magic Bind Off, I guess. Jenny's now I don't know anymore, but there is a difference between the purling, binding of the purling and the purl stitches and the knit stitches, and you get even a more neater edge, and I love that. And I didn't knew I was discovering a new way, I thought, but I already did my bind off always that way, only quite a little detail between the knits and the purls, and that was lovely. I don't have a project page already for these socks, but I will make it maybe when it's going very easy and smooth this afternoon, so I can link it down below in the description box with all my links that I used. No, only the bind off, I guess, when if I can find it. But I love these socks, and although the fit is not perfect for me, I love them. I do wear my sandals. I'm gonna look up. It was very important for me to use a dark brown yarn because I wear leggings a lot in the summer. Okay, they are a bit too big. You can see they're a bit too big, but I love to wear my Birkenstocks clogs, and when it's a bit cold, or I can use when I have light socks. It's very opvallend. You can see it very well. It's a bit of a subtle detail in my outfits instead of stripy bright socks. It's also nice, but I don't always feel like very opvallend. How do you say opvallend? Ooh. Remarkable socks. I don't know if that's the right word, but you know what I mean. Sometimes a subtle sock is enough. Okay, I have them on my sock blockers. They are from Studio Spintel, a Dutch lady. She makes them, and I bought them at Saskia from Jawol Rotterdam, but she quit. It's such a pity she quit with her shop. But Brechtje from Studio Spintel makes them by hand, and they are very good quality, very thick and very nice and handmade. And when I bought them, they were quite pricey too, but she makes them in several sizes and different sizes there and there, so you need only one, and you can block socks from all sizes. And I like it when my sock blockers, I did bought a cheaper pair before, and it was not good, it was not okay. And this one, they will last my whole life, and maybe later my children and grandchildren are using the sock blockers from Granny Sarah. I hope. So, Humlebi socks, lovely pattern. I'm more a plain sock knitter. I do love simple socks, but it's very nice to knit a pair of pattern socks between, and I love this tiny little pattern. So when you want to knit them, let's go take a look at Lerke from Fibertales. Okay, and let me take a bit of water. I did like the process of test knit, so I told about it last week a little. I told about it last week a little, and I did apply it for another test knit, and this one is from Caidree, and I was knitting, or I am knitting her Remy Camisole, and I didn't touch that one last week because I applied for the test knit for another new camisole of hers, the home camisole, and today's the deadline. Today it has to be finished, and I'm not gonna make it. I thought I was. I had all afternoon yesterday to finish it, but I was struggling picking up the stitches nicely, neatly. I didn't work out, and I have to unravel it several times, and it took way more time than I thought, and I'm almost there, but I guess the release date of the pattern is placed to next week, June 29th, if I'm correct. So I do have a bit of time, and maybe I can finish it tonight. I'm not sure. I will show it to you. It also goes slow because I'm knitting it English style, and I'm struggling through it, and I've talked about it a lot. I'm a continental knitter with identity crisis, I guess. It sounds hard, isn't it? But my knitting is not even. My stitches were not even. I love the movement of continental knitting, the rhythm, and how to hold the yarn and whatever, but too often the fabric was messy, and I don't like that. So I changed to English knitting style, and it cost me all my willpower to keep practicing and not switching back to continental, because that's faster and more natural. I know when you are learning something new, it is perfectly, it is absolutely normal. It's not flowing immediately. It takes time and effort and practicing, and I'm doing that. But I'm not the most patient person in the world. So it's quite hard now and then, every day, always. But I'm struggling, and but I'm keeping up, and it will do. So this is the home. Oh, let's watch out for my knitting needles when you want to keep your eyes. Okay, I finished the body, and it absolutely needs a blocking bird. It absolutely has to be to be blocked. That's true, because the hem is rolling up. It's an I-cord bind off. I will tell you all about the details next week, because I'm wearing it then and it's finished and blocked. I want to say I'm knitting with Holst Garn Coast, and it's a 55% lamb's wool and 45% cotton, and I love it. It feels very, very nice. I must say it's still a bit messy. It's quite better than knitting continental, but still a bit messy. And I know Holst Garn Super Soft they are always telling there's much spin oil in it, and it needs to be washed and it needs to be blocked, and then it blooms. And I'm quite curious how it will be at the Coast yarn, because it's 55% lamb's wool. Is it also with spinning oil? Will it also change a lot while blocking? I don't know, so we shall see. But what I can say about this is it's Camisole with quite a bit, with a little bit positive ease, and maybe it was better when I knitted one size smaller, because it were quite large armholes for me, and a quite deep V-neck. I do love quite a deep V-neck, but when I'm wearing it without anything, only a bra under it, it's quite sexy. I guess. So I'm not sure if I feel comfortable that way, but when I wear a tee under it, it's perfect. So it will definitely be a success, and I love the color. I was quite struggling picking up the stitches for the I-cord bind off. You do here, and also I need to do that on the armholes. I messed it up several times. And it's interesting because I picked up stitches for necklines a lot, but I wasn't understanding always what I was doing, and regular I got holes, and you don't want holes, and I always figured out something, and I fixed it, and it was okay, but I wasn't understanding it. And it seems to be yesterday was the moment I deep dived in picking up stitches, and learning do it the right way. So I watched several tutorials on YouTube, but it was quite hard to understand what I was doing. And I picked them up and knitted the I-cord, and I saw it, and oh no, it doesn't look nice. I don't want it that way. It was messy. So I ripped out, and I did that for 5 times, I guess, picking up all the stitches, rip out, and I was trying, and my hands hurt because it was quite hard working, and but it was also good. It was also nice because I felt I'm learning new stuff, and I'm practicing my knitting muscles, so and my knitting brain. So I will be better at it, and it will be getting better. And it did get better because now it's much neater. I'm almost satisfied with the way it is. I did make quite a little tiny mistake here in the V. I picked up in a stitch that wasn't a stitch, but I have a yarn end here, so maybe I can fix it a bit. And otherwise, it's at my back, so I have another chance to do it right at the front. And when I checked the stitches, I did do it right here, so it don't bother me when it's a little mistake on the back. It's a tiny mistake. There's no one who will tell me, maybe when I said it now, but no one would tell me, oh, that's not the nice picked up stitch there in your V-neck back. So okay, so I knitted a Holzgarn double, and my yarn, 2 yarn balls are all knitted up. So I have to, I did have 4 of them more. So I do have enough yarn, but it's always, it would be nicer when I had enough at only 2 yarn balls. But I want to make a matching headband. I think the Caidree from Lerke from Fibertales of the cabled headband. I'm not, I don't know right now, but it's okay that I have to break on a new ball. So my home camisole. Next episode, I will tell you all about the pattern, and then it will be released pretty soon, I guess. So yes, that was the content for today. Although the knitting content, I do have other projects. This morning was the first time I did some crochet while I was walking with the dog. I do walk a lot with our dog. Every morning I go to the woods, and mostly every afternoon. The evenings I do a lot of dog walks, and I normally listen a podcast on my phone or something, but there are times that I have heard enough inspiration and enough to think about, and it's nice to walk in quiet. And I leave my phone at home. That's also nice, but I did it a few days, and then I get a bit bored. And then I thought, oh, can I knit or crochet while walking? But when I'm knitting, I'm a crocheter by heart, and I do love knitting, but I have to look I can't knit without looking at my knitting, and I can crochet without looking. I can crochet with my eyes closed. Not all the patterns, but I am crocheting a dishcloth, and with a dishcloth, and I can crochet that with my eyes closed. I don't walk with my eyes closed because that's not a good idea, but I can crochet while walking. So I did, and it was quite fun. It goes a bit slower than when I'm sitting in a chair or on the couch, but it worked out pretty well. My yarn ball messed up in my little project bag on my arm, so I did quite some time winding up yarn while walking, and I love winding up yarn balls. So it was quite relaxing and I love it. And then I did some crochet on my dishcloth, and it felt very, very good. So I will do that more often. Pick up my crochet and work a bit while. Do you say hiking? We say wandelen in Dutch. Wandelen. And hiking feels to walk. Hiking feels more like a more sporty way of walking. And I'm only wandelen with my dog in the woods, but we live in the Netherlands. It's all flat. It's not quite adventurous. It's beautiful. I love it, but no, it's not. Hiking feels too sporty. I'm not hiking. I'm walking. Okay. So that was the knitting content, and now I want to share my idea for the make along, because I do love this idea. I absolutely love it, and I will explain why. First of all, I did organize knit-alongs, 2 knit-alongs, I guess. Last year I organized in the month of June the koffieboontjes knit-along, coffee beans knit-along. Koffieboontje, het koffieboontje is a stitch, a knitting stitch, quite a bit of a cabled stitch. When you look at the hashtag koffieboontjes breien of koffieboontjes sock or coffee bean socks, you will see what I mean. And it's a lovely sock stitch. And there were a lot of Dutch knitters and also not Dutch knitters who made some lovely pair of koffieboontjes sokken, and I was quite overwhelmed by organizing that. I had prizes, and it was absolutely lovely, but also much more work than I thought. Then in October, I guess, I started the Sock Connect knit-along, and the Sock Connect knit-along is these are traveling socks. You cast on a sock and you ask on Instagram, it is mainly who wants to knit a stripe or a few stripes on my sock. So there are quite a few socks traveling through the Netherlands, and I don't know where my sock is at the moment, but I'm not very good in keeping up the knit-alongs, of giving them attention. I do love to put my idea for the knit-along and start it up, and then I love it to go by itself and not that. But I got an idea an hour ago, and I immediately thought this would be a perfect idea. First of all, I thought a crochet along, but then I thought no, it's good for a make along. Let me explain. I'm a crocheter. Now I'm also a knitter. Don't say you're a crocheter. But I do love to crochet plants, cactus. How do you say cacti? A cactus. Cactus. Cacti. It's a weird word. You know, the little green, round, prickly plants growing in the desert. Cacti and cactus. A cactus. Now, I have crocheted them a lot, because it was a perfect gift for my loved ones, for my friends, for my family, and I made a lot of them. I don't have a crochet cactus. I gave them all away. I never made one for myself, always gave them away. And I have some lovely pictures I posted on my Instagram, and it's been a while since I made the last one, so I have to look back, but I will try to put them in the outro when I'm finished with all my talking, so you can see what I mean. But I absolutely love these cacti. These plants, I love them. Not only cacti. Cacti. It's sorry. I'm sure someone will reply in the comments and say you say it that way, and I love it to read that always. But I hope I will remember. We have a fireplace in the house, and we don't make fire in there in summer, and in spring, not now. It's too warm outside, so I can put my plants on the border of the fireplace. In Dutch, we call it the schouw. We have a wooden border above, and I put all nice things on there. And I love when there are plants also. We do have a lot of plants in our house. I love it. I love the green, and I love it. So, but when it's autumn and winter, we make a lot of fire in the fireplace, and it's way too hot for the plants to stand on that border. So I have thought a lot of times I should make some cacti to put on there. I have one plant, and it's not a cacti, it's a fern, and I made it quite some years ago. It's a pattern I bought on Etsy quite some years, and I couldn't find it back, so I guess the Etsy shop where I bought doesn't exist. But if I am correctly, Lucy from Attic 24 has also a fern pattern, but this is the only crochet plant I have. When I was a teacher, it was in my classroom, and now it's on our fireplace, and I love it. I love the terracotta pot, and I want a lot of these with cacti and all kinds of different stuff, plant stuff. But I never make the time to make some for myself, and every time I say, "Oh, I must make it for. I want it," but I don't. I have the materials, I have the yarn, I have everything, and I don't do it. So look, it's such a nice thing, and I enjoy making it also a lot. So I walked through, I saw this plant, and in one moment I thought I should make a crochet along, and I should make it now. I should start it now, because then no, I don't thought I should make a. I thought, how nice would it be when I will make it together with other people. That was the first thought. And then right after that, I should make a crochet along. And I was thinking about it a few minutes before filming my podcast, and I thought, I'm gonna do it, but it will not be a crochet along, it will be a make along. But maybe there are also nice knitting patterns for plants, and crochet you also can sew, and whatever. But I will start this make along on July 1st. That is next week, because I have quite a busy week this week. I have a lot of appointments, a lot of stuff to do, and I don't have time to start a new project this week. So I will start at July 1st. I think it's next Thursday, if I'm correctly. And then I will start the It's a Sarah Flora make along. You can use the hashtag on Instagram, and I will make a post on Instagram with some details and a nice cacti picture. I do love that word, cacti. And I hope there are some people who also loves to make a plant, a fiber plant for in their house or whatever. And when you use the hashtag, I can find all the lovely plants, and I can share them in my stories. So I will work on that the weeks before we go on holiday, and I'm looking forward to it. Finally, I will get my own cacti. So that was my idea. It's a Sarah Flora make along. Use the hashtag, and I will start next Thursday, so I will tell you something more about it in my next episode. I have also a pattern. Now it's not really a pattern, it's more a description on my blog, but it's in Dutch. And I will think about I don't want to have too much administration work around a knit along of a make along, because I prefer the crafting itself, but it would be nice to share pattern ideas. So I guess I will keep it with the hashtag. So you can check the hashtag and you can check pattern ideas from others. I guess I will do that. But I will tell you more about it next week. And I try to find a picture and I will put it right when the music plays and when the episode is finished, so you can, your heart also makes a jump. And I know when you see that, you say, oh, I also want to have a cacti, a crochet cacti or a crochet plant or a knitted plant or whatever. So that was my idea. And let me know if you like it and if you want to join. And it's also fun to just watch the hashtag and get inspired. And it's just for fun. I don't think I do prizes or whatever. It was quite a lot of work last time and I don't have that time. We go on a holiday next month. I also don't know how long this make-along will be alive. I don't know. Let's see how it is. I will update you in my episodes and let's make some cacti fun. It's a Sarah Flora make-along. Okay, I've told everything I wanted. I will make my Dutch episode now. And yes. Is there something more? No, I will make my Dutch episode and I will upload them on YouTube and I hope you like it to watch. And if you like, let me know because I love to read. Once a week I sit with my laptop and reply everyone because quite a lot of work and I read everything and I try to reply everyone, but I do it once a week and I love to read all the comments and the nice words and all the lovely people in the crafting community come together a bit or come at my place a bit. And oh no, yes, and I forgot something. You got notes, Sarah, podcast recommendations. Yes. Right on time. I have 2 recommendations for you. First of all, I felt a bit ashamed last week that I didn't know the names of the mother and the daughter from the Knit Ink podcast. I got quite some new viewers when they recommended my podcast with, and I didn't saw it already, but didn't see it already, didn't watch that podcast already. But when I heard them talking about me and they had such lovely words and I felt so ashamed because I mentioned them and want to thank them and then I even didn't know their names. I was already following their podcast and enjoying their podcast, but I didn't get the names in my head right then. But I checked it now because I want to recommend them. I saw their last episode when they were in the garden, when they are very worried about all the noise in the garden, and it didn't bother me at all. So it's quite interesting when you're feeling insecure. I don't know if insecure is the right word, but when you are worrying about something, oh, do they think that, or do they, and I was only looking and tell me about the knits. I don't hear the cars, I don't hear the dog, I don't hear the grasmaaier, we call it in Dutch, when you can cut off the grass with. I don't know. So I love that episode, and I also love the sweater. I do the names. I have noticed them. Petra and Natasha. Do you say Natasha? In the Netherlands we say Petra and Natasha. Petra and Natasha. Natasha. I do love the idea from a mother and a daughter together, and they are both lovely, and they make lovely projects, and I get a very cozy feeling watching their chatting about their crafts. And I also love the sweater. I don't know the name, the stripy sweater Petra had made, because I love the neckline, the low neckline, and I checked it on Ravelry and put it in my favorites, and it had quite a special stripy effect. I don't know if that's my kind of thing, but I also saw quite some people who knitted them in a solid color, and I do love that. Okay, and yeah, I've written in my notes, I love their projects and their energy vibe. So ladies, thank you for your lovely podcast. And in another one I discovered recently is the Stitch Witchcraft, and her name is, I guess, CC, although that's in her bio. And CC has a wonderful filming. I love the images she took. I love the also the energy. It's very natural, very warm, very cozy, very slow, and it's quite a relaxing podcast. And she makes her episodes like a letter, like she's writing a letter, and she calls it also. She has 4 letters already, and if I am correctly, she started knitting recently, and she's discovering all kinds. She's discovering patterns and yarns and dyeing, natural dye, and it's very relaxing a very relaxing podcast. So I want to recommend Stitch Witchcraft also. All the names. There are so many lovely podcasts. I have quite some recommendations for other podcasts in my in the reactions under previous episodes, and I guess you can also click on who I am following. I don't know if that works. Yeah. So there are so many lovely podcasts. Okay. Yeah. Now I'm done. Really. I'm really done. So time to finish. I wish you a wonderful week, a wonderful day, a wonderful. Nee, I have to say that. I wish you a wonderful day, a wonderful week, still practicing, and I see you next Monday. Bye bye!